I'm Kasia.
And I'm Krista.
And we are confidence coaches for
kids.
Hey guys, we're back. It's Confidence Coaches for Kids. I'm Kasia Gutierrez.
And I'm Krista Press.
And we are back off of a series on resilience. And we want to apply it to the classroom setting. So for you students out there, we're going to chat with you today about that.
Yep. This applies to all subject areas, but we really wanted to focus on math. So like Kasia said, we've been talking about resilience, and we also talked about hard conversations and communication, right? And we kind of thought these go together, especially in math class.
Yeah. So one of the things that Krista and I are really huge fans of Jo Boaler, and so she does a lot of math research out there, and that really helps us as teachers. But as kids, there was something that came up in a recent book study, and it was this idea of knowing when you're in the pit, when you're learning something.
Yeah.
So
The pit is when you're stuck.
Yeah,
you are
totally
stuck. Like, I don't know where to go. I don't know how to get out. I don't want to do this anymore. It's hard. I'm not good enough. All of those feelings of confusion, frustration.
On self-doubt. This
Yes.
is when that starts to creep in too, is if I am struggling with something, and I honestly, we see it in math. We see it in math a lot. It tends to be a subject that kids will at times struggle with, and sometimes it's this overwhelming feeling of I don't know what to do and go from here.
Right. So how do you get out of the pit, right? So there's a couple things. Going back to resilience, what are you going to do? What kind of self-talk are you going to have, and what strategies are you going to rely on that you've learned in your math classes and to move yourself forward? Just, you need some momentum, right? You need, think of it as like a running start almost. What are you going to do to move forward?
Well, I think even before, it's identifying that you're in that pit, right?
Oh, good.
So
That's good.
even before that, you think to yourself, I'm really struggling right now. This is really hard. I'm not sure what to do. I don't know what tools I should use. When you're having that feeling of like you possibly want to quit and you want to bail out, you're probably in the pit, right?
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, so great. So number one,
Identify
that you are in the pit. Acknowledge it. Celebrate it. I mean,
which is hard. That's hard.
That's where the learning is going to come from that in the end. The end result will be so much growth, so much learning, and a definite time to celebrate, right? Because we have to have those moments to feel success.
I think so. I think if you haven't been in the pit before, when you get there, it feels really scary. So like if you're a kid who rarely ever feels like you're in the pit, like, oh, I got this, I understand this algorithm or whatever, that first time that you're in the pit feels very uncomfortable. And then others of us, we are in the pit a lot.
That's right.
So just knowing that it's going to feel uncomfortable, but like she said, celebrate that, because that's when we know when you are able to overcome and to keep pushing through and use that growth mindset, that's when, like Krista said, the learning's gonna happen.
Yep. So you need that positive self-talk. And then connecting this to hard conversations and communication. Okay, so this is a huge one in math that it's so difficult to teach, and really it's just something as educators that we work really hard to coach, because I don't know that it's something you can teach. It's a coaching strategy here. But kids often want to be introverted with their math thinking, and you feel stuck and you are embarrassed by that sometimes, or you think, everyone in this class thinks I'm smart, and if I'm stuck, then I'm not smart. But this is the time to actually come out with your thinking. This is the time to say, hey, I'm confused. Here's my point of confusion, or this is where I started. I think I've got it to this point. Now I have no idea what to do. And open up that conversation with the people sitting at your table, not just your teachers, but the other students around you, because people see things differently, think differently, and just a different perspective can trigger something in your mind to give you that momentum to move forward.
Well, someone might ask you a question that all of a sudden makes you go, oh, I got this, right? And so don't be afraid, because the other thing that it'll do, honestly, is that the kids at your table might be feeling the same way, and they're like, oh, I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
And then you can have this really great, vulnerable conversation together about, what do we do now? Where do we go from here?
Yeah. Yep. So I really think like the takeaway that we want everyone to have is it's okay to be in the pit. What are you going to do? How are you going to talk to yourself? Right? In those moments. How are you going to talk to the people around you and ask for help or get a conversation started, and not keeping your math so
private.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing, and this is a hard part too, because when we do feel this way, especially if we're not there very often, a lot of times we'll look like for a bailout.
Yeah.
So what it does not look like is at your table, it's not, what's the answer? How did you get that? It is asking for help, like where you are right then, and what are some tools that you could use to get through it. Because don't take that bailout, because then you've missed out on this huge learning opportunity, and then also an opportunity to prove to yourself, I can get through this.
Right.
And so that's just another important part about the pit.
That's the easiest thing to do, get the answer.
Move
But
on.
in the long run, it's not going to help you.
Right.
You're just going to find yourself in the pit more and more often with less strategies for getting out.
Right. So we hope that you can acknowledge when this happens and know it's actually a good thing, even if it feels uncomfortable at the time. Don't be so private with your math thinking.
No.
Share out. And then, hopefully you have a teacher that you can say, I feel like I'm in the pit right now and I'm struggling. And that teacher will celebrate that.
That's right.
So,
That's right.
all right, guys.
Okay.
Get it.
Go, mathematicians.